So, you've probably heard this term descriptive analytics thrown around a lot in business, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, today we're going to break it all down and see how it really works.
It all really boils down to one simple question. How does any company really know what happened in the past? How do you get past just a gut feeling and get a cold, hard, factual picture of what's been going on?
And that's where descriptive analytics comes in. It's really the bedrock of all data analysis. Its only job, and it's a super important one, is to look at all that past data and simply tell you, hey, here's what happened.
The best analogy I've ever heard for this is that descriptive analytics is your business's rear-view mirror. It literally shows you where you've been, the road you took, maybe some potholes you hit along the way. And you absolutely have to know where you are before you can even think about hitting the gas and moving forward, right?
All right, so let's dive in. First up, let's look inward. How does a company actually use this rearview mirror to, check its own pulse and see how healthy it is?
So we're going to look at this in a few ways. We'll check out KPI dashboards, the vital signs. Then we'll look at the big picture with financial statements. And finally, how team performance gets summarized.
Okay, so it all kicks off with something called KPIs, or Key Performance Indicators. These are basically the vital signs of your organization. Think about it. A doctor checks your heart rate, your blood pressure. A business does the same thing, but with KPIs.
And a KPI dashboard? Well, that's like the doctor's chart. It pulls all those vital signs into one place. You can see right away what you're measuring, what your goal was, and how you actually did. It's that simple. So you can ask, are we crushing our sales goals? Or, whoops, why is our website traffic a little lower than we wanted? It's an instant health check. But, looking at daily metrics is kind of like only checking your pulse. To really understand your health, you got to zoom out and get the full checkup. And that's where financial reporting comes in. It gives you that comprehensive view over a much longer stretch of time.
Yeah, a good financial statement just cuts right through all the noise. It gives you the big, important numbers. How much money came in, how much went out, and what's left over, the net profit. And when you lay it out quarter by quarter like this, the trends just pop right out at you. Is profit climbing, or are our expenses starting to get a little out of hand? This is descriptive analytics at its most powerful.
Okay, so that's looking inward. We've checked the company's pulse. Now let's flip that rearview mirror around and look at who's been following us. The customers. They're pretty important, right?
So in this section, we're going to see how we can use this data to trace the customer's journey, from just browsing to actually buying. And we'll even look at how companies test out different ideas to see what clicks, literally.
The whole idea here is simple, really. Every single thing a customer does online, a click, a view, a purchase, it creates a little piece of data. And by piecing all those little bits of data together, we can basically retrace their steps and paint a really clear picture of their behavior. And a classic way to do this is with a sales funnel. What descriptive analytics does here is show us with hard numbers how many people start at the top and, this is the important part, how many drop off at each stage. So it's not just showing you the path, it's showing you where the leaks are in your bucket. The big question it answers is, where are we losing people? Okay, but what if you want to be more proactive? You've got two different designs for your website, say, for a Buy Now button. Which one's better? Well, you don't have to argue about it or go with your gut. You can let the data decide. And that's what we call an A/B test. It's super common. You just show half your website visitors version A with the blue button, and the other half gets version B with the green one. And then you just watch. The data comes back, and the analysis is dead simple. Hey, look at that. The green button got way more clicks and led to more sales. The data just described what happened. No debate needed.
All right, so we've looked at the business itself, and we've looked at its customers. Now let's pop the hood and look at the engine that makes everything run, the company's operations.
Yeah, this is all about making things run smoothly and efficiently. We're talking about things like how efficient is our production line, what's going on with our inventory, and are we dotting all our I's and crossing our T's when it comes to compliance?
When you boil it down, any business is just a whole bunch of processes all working together. And what descriptive analytics does is shine a bright light on every one of those processes so we can spot the bottlenecks, find places to improve. The end goal? Just use what the data tells us happened in the past to make things run faster, cheaper, and better in the future. So, take a look at this chart. It's a simple report on monthly production. You don't need to be a data scientist to see what's happening here, right? The trend is clearly going up. That's a fact. This report is the what. It tells you that production increased.
Now, that immediately leads to the next question, which is why? But you can't even ask why until you know the what.
And hey, this stuff isn't just about being fast or efficient. It's also about being accountable. Descriptive analytics is crucial for things like compliance reports and audit trails, basically creating a digital paper trail to prove that all the rules were followed. It's a factual record.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. We've seen how descriptive analytics works for checking a company's health, for understanding customers, and for streamlining operations. So what's the big takeaway here? What's the ultimate point of all this?
I love this quote because it just nails it. Data provides the facts, storytelling provides the meaning. See, just having a bunch of numbers on a screen, that's not the goal. The real magic happens when you use those facts to tell a story about what's been going on.
And that really is what it's all about. All those different things we looked at, the KPI dashboards, the financial reports, the sales funnels, think of them as different chapters of the same story. When you put them all together, they tell you a coherent, factual story of where your business has been.
So, to wrap it all up, descriptive analytics is all about the what. It's that rear-view mirror. And once you have that crystal clear picture of what happened, you're perfectly set up to ask the next more powerful questions. Why did it happen? And what are we going to do about it? Because let's be honest, without knowing where you've been, you're just driving blind. The data has done its job. It's shown you the past. The real question now is, what's your next move?